Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and we have something awesome to take a look at today. As you can see standing before you, we have a beautiful Giganotosaurus, and this is actually a model by a sculptor that I have never had the pleasure of checking out before, and I only recently had learned of. The sculptor's name, and I apologize if I mispronounce it, is Vito Fabrizio Brognola, and he is from VFB Paleoart. And I've recently taken a look over quite a bit of his work, and I must say it is extremely impressive. So what better species choice to introduce you guys to him than with the Giganotosaurus. And this model was actually printed out by Medium Master, and I recently had told you guys about Medium Master in a different review and how he's basically United States based and works with different sculptors, numerous different sculptors from different countries to produce dinosaur models that we here in the United States can then acquire, because Vito, who is actually the sculptor of the figure, lives in Europe, but luckily he again has Medium Master here in the United States who is working with him to produce his dinosaur models, make them available for everyone. And actually, these models will be available on Dan's Dinosaurs soon as well, which is really exciting. But again, this is a gorgeous looking model, and I am really excited to take a look at it with you guys, just like I did with the recent Paleochris Tyrannosaurus Rex. We're going to take a look at the model unpainted, and we'll get a closer look at it from there, and then we'll go ahead and check it out painted after that. This model was actually assembled prior to shipping to me, so when it had arrived, it was already put together. But as you can quite clearly tell, it is still unpainted for the time being. One unfortunate downside, though, is that I actually dropped it because I am a clumsy ox, and I broke off 2 of the fingernails as well as broke the tail. And I glued the tail back on. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the fingernails. They're lost now somewhere around here, I guess, but we're going to do our best to kind of paint them up in a way that it looks like maybe it had broken the nails off and maybe has like a chunk of the tail that was bitten out or something. And I think that could actually make for a fun, pretty realistic aspect potentially of the dinosaur. But you can see that our Giganotosaurus comes with a base and then, of course, the dinosaur itself. And I am really excited to get this painted up. So before I can do that, we've got to take a closer look at it. So let's jump to that closer look right now. So starting up here at the head sculpt of our Giganotosaurus, you can see that our dinosaur is sculpted with its mouth in an open position. You can also see that it sports some incredible skin texture, really nice scale detail throughout. Medium Master's print quality is pretty much of the highest quality, I can say that for sure, after now having a few models that were printed out by him. But also Vito's sculpting ability is off the charts. It is a beautiful looking sculpt for sure. You can see the nostrils up here, again with the mouth sculpted in an open position. We can see the teeth on the inside of the mouth, as well as the tongue sticking up there on the inside of the mouth. The area here around the eye also looks great. I really can't wait to get some paint on this. It just looks so nice. You can see the ear is sculpted out back there. Beautiful detailing up here on the top of the head. It's a little hard to really see it, I think, because first of all, my camera doesn't want to focus on it, but also because the backdrop here is really light, as is the dinosaur itself. As you move down here into the neck, though, you can see some really nice creasing in the skin of the neck because our Giganotosaurus has its head turned quite nicely to its left, and you would definitely see quite a bit of creasing and wrinkling in the skin of that area. Also, some beautiful scale detail there. You can also pick out the throat here on the underside, more wrinkling and creasing. Nice chest muscles as we move down. Again, those are the fingernails that I unfortunately broke off. But you can see that the arm itself sports some beautiful muscle definition. The elbow is nicely highlighted in the sculpt. And here you can really see how nice the fine detail is. Look at how gorgeous that scale detail is. That skin texture is incredible through the entire model. You can kind of make out the shoulder blade here as well. And again, as we move along here, you can see some of the skin kind of stretching off of the stomach because the leg is leading back, which looks really nice. You can see the area where the model was actually connected again prior to it being delivered to me, which of course we won't really be able to see that once it's painted up and everything. Up here on the back, you can see the spinal column running down along the back. You've also got some more really nice scale detail, kind of like some osteoderms poking up here and there. Really nicely highlighted that spinal column right there. You've got the hip bone as well. And again, if we get nice and close here and let the camera focus on it, look at how phenomenal that scale detail is. That is gorgeous. I can't even begin to imagine how long it must have taken to sculpt out all of that amazing scale detail. And then you again have the nice muscle definition moving down the thigh, a little bit of stretching skin here in the back of the knee, very nicely defined calf muscle. You can see the kneecap right there in the front. Also some beautiful detailing as far as the skin texture here for the underside. As you lead down, you have a really nice foot sculpt, some nice scoots running down the front of the foot. The foot here is kind of starting to leave the ground, so you can see the nice bend in the toes here as the opposing foot is planted. This foot is lifting up off of the ground. The nails as well are sculpted really nicely. They look very genuine as far as like the realism aspect goes. And then as you lead up here, you again see more really nice scale detail, more skin texture as you move out the length of the tail here. The tail is fairly straight out, but you can kind of see a nice, very subtle curve to it as you move out. And then again, unfortunately, right there's the area where I broke it, so I'm probably going to paint that as more of like an injury, because when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, so that's what we're going to do. But as you move down here along the underside, if my camera will focus on that as well, you can again see more really nice texturing to the skin moving along the underside here of our Giganotosaurus. Of course, we're going to take another closer look here at this once we actually get it painted up, but I did want to show it to you guys again in its original form to show you what the figure will look like once it arrives to you. Again, really nice looking head sculpt over here. I love the fact that the mouth is open, but it's not open in a way that it looks really like exaggerated or overly ridiculous. Like, it looks really nice and natural as far as the open mouth that we have here, almost like it's just letting out some sort of a vocalization. And you can see again the nostrils, the ear, the eye, everything looks great. The really nice looking skin texture, which I feel like we might not really be able to see how good that looks until we get some paint on it. You can see more wrinkling increasing and kind of like some tensing. It almost looks like there might even be a vein moving through the neck right there, which looks really cool. I love the fact that the arms are held into the body in a nice, really natural way. This hand is still in one piece. You can see the fingers look great. Nice scoots down the fingers. Really nicely sculpted out nails. And again, the gorgeous looking texturing here again to the skin in the stomach region just looks phenomenal. You can just generally looking at it and kind of allowing the light to hit it, you can really pick up on just like the structure of the dinosaur and how perfect it is on this model. As you move back, you can again see the hip bone right there. Again, the nice muscle definition moving down the thigh as well as the calf muscle, the kneecap. All of it is really highlighted in the sculpt quite beautifully. This foot here is planted on the ground. You have little pegs here to connect it to the base, and you can again see the nails look really nice. We have the dew claws and everything, so it looks beautiful in that area. And then as we move up here, you can see a little bit of like skin detail kind of showing off the movement of the legs stretching. But one thing that I really like about this is just how muscular this Giganotosaurus looks. Like, everywhere you look, it is really nicely toned. Like, it definitely looks like a really healthy, young, well-fed, and really in-shape version of a Giganotosaurus. I would say a Giganotosaurus in its prime for sure, but again, the detailing looks phenomenal as you move out the length of the tail. So I'm really psyched to get that one painted up. So we're going to quickly look here at the base, and then we're going to get it painted. And you can see the base looks great as far as the detailing standpoint goes. It's a really nice kind of an earthy area. You've got the footprints here of the dinosaur. You can also see the holes where the pegs would slide into to balance your dinosaur out. And we also have the logo again for VFB right here, showing you exactly who is the sculptor responsible for this work of art. And I like how it has kind of like a base outside of the earthy area. Like, you have this little oval-like outside area, which looks pretty cool. I can't wait to get this whole thing painted up and see how beautiful this looks when it is complete. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So the Giganotosaurus is now painted, and I think it looks pretty cool. Nice to see some actual paint application on it. And you can again just see how much more lifelike, how much more realistic the figure becomes once you add some paintwork to it. It really just brings the overall model straight to life, and I also think it just shows off the actual sculpt and detail so much nicer. Like, you can really see how good the scale detail looks and everything throughout the entire figure as you look at it now again with paint application on it. And you can just generally see again how highly detailed the Giganotosaurus is now with some paint application on it. Like, you can really take note to the spinal column running along the back here, all the little osteoderms, as well as the phenomenal looking scale detail that is all over this Giganotosaurus. On top of that, again, the really nice detailing for the inside of the mouth as well. It really is just one incredible looking Giganotosaurus. Definitely very impressed, as my first dabble into VFB's art is, again, really, really impressive. And I actually have 2 more models here to review from him that I'm going to have up here on the channel within the next few weeks. And you can see what I did, as I said earlier, that, you know, with that little chunk that I had broken out of it, I wanted to turn it into kind of like an injury. So now it just looks like there's a chunk of the tail missing, which I think actually turned out pretty cool. Same deal with the finger. I said that I was going to paint the finger to look like it had ripped off a nail, and you can see I painted part of the nail that's over here because there's a little bit remaining, and then the area where the nail was ripped off you can see over here. So again, really happy with my paint work, but the model is so gorgeous it practically painted itself, which is always fun. And then we've got my paint up now for the base to show off how nice the base looks. Again, you can see that we've got a really nice earthy area down here, and we've got the footprints of the Giganotosaurus as it's just walking along. You can also see that we have some areas, again, to apply your Giganotosaurus with the little pegs on the bottom of the feet, and you can also see the VFB logo right there, which I always like when an artist brands the base or something like that to just really show off, again, who created it. And again, I think it looks phenomenal. Yet again, just like the Giganotosaurus, very professional. I love the fact that we have this kind of like outer rim that really, again, takes the entire thing from looking like a really nice, absolutely awesome model to looking more like a museum display. So, very cool, and definitely excited to see it on the base. I haven't actually put the 2 together since I painted them, so let's go ahead and do that right now. So again, like I stated, there are pegs on the undersides of the feet. You just slide those into the slots on the base, and our Giganotosaurus is now standing on its base. Very proud, and it looks super, super nice on the base. Once it actually is applied to the base, pretty much this goes with any dinosaur. On top of being a really nice model, I feel like once you put them on the base, it really transports you to the scene, really takes you into that moment, and brings the dinosaur to life a little more. But as far as a size goes for our Giganotosaurus, lengthwise, you are looking at about the 13 3/4 inch range, or around 35 centimeters. And then height-wise, to the top of the neck, you're looking at about 5 inches, or just under 13 centimeters. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, and Robert Muldoon from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line next to our VFB Giganotosaurus. And you can see that, again, it does sport a really nice, quite impressive size. Not that you expected anything less, being a Giganotosaurus. You should probably expect a pretty decent size. And you can definitely see that we have exactly that here with this incredible VFB version. And then for a few totally random comparisons, we have the GR Toys Carcharodontosaurus here next to the Giganotosaurus. Again, maybe a figure that you might have that could help to give you an idea of a size here for the Giganotosaurus. But for another comparison, here is Wilson the Tyrannosaurus Rex from PNSO next to our VFB Giganotosaurus, again to help show you roughly, again, what the size is. And yet again, it's another instance of it definitely being very sizable, because if you have the PNSO T-Rex, you'll definitely know that that is a pretty sizable model. So you can see that that Giganotosaurus is exactly that as well, quite sizable. And then for a final comparison, just a few randoms that we usually bring in. We have the Schleichdiabloceratops, the Safari LTDU Tyrannus, and the Collect Day Deluxe Dimetrodon next to our VFB Giganotosaurus. Definitely, again, a very sizable model, which you can see in comparison to all of these figures here. They are all much smaller than the Giganotosaurus is overall. So this VFB Giganotosaurus is beautiful, and I am beyond excited to actually have this here, not only to review for you guys, but also to add to my collection. It's definitely one heck of a really nice interpretation of a Giganotosaurus, and he's done a phenomenal job of sculpting out all of the fine detail to really bring the model to life with some extremely nice, really vibrant skin texture, as well as lots of skin wrinkles, skin creases, all sorts of detail, again to show off the movement perfectly of the dinosaur, taking it from, you know, looking like a pretty cool model to making it look more like a real living animal. And he has done a great job of doing exactly that. It definitely looks like it could be a living, breathing Giganotosaurus, which is a huge, huge plus for this model. And I love the fact that, again, we have it in a nice, natural sort of walking pose, nothing overly crazy or dynamic. It's just a really nice, very naturalistic positioning for the Giganotosaurus. The mouth is open, which a lot of people, of course, like to have their theropods with their mouths open. I actually like both. I like mouths opened and closed. The mouth is open, but it's not open enough that it looks like it's attacking or anything like that. It looks like it's just walking along and maybe is in mid-vocalization, which I also quite like because it's not often that you kind of see dinosaur models, especially theropods, portrayed that way. So I really do quite like the fact that the mouth is slightly open, but not open super wide or anything that it looks like it's obviously in some crazy fighting pose. Definitely very, very cool looking as far as that goes. Again, being a model kit, you get the pleasure of painting it up yourself, and this is the paint job that I gave mine. I was pretty happy with it because I wanted something that looked nice and natural overall and not too flashy, and I feel like this serves its purpose. It has a little bit of flashiness, but at the same time, a nice naturalistic look overall. So pretty happy with my paint job. And the base as well is really, really nice. There's not too much going on with it, but it's just a nice natural earthy area that the dinosaur is walking over. And again, the addition of the base and that kind of like outer edge, making it just look so museum-like, really amps up the overall quality and feel of the model. And of course, takes you straight into the moment that the dinosaur is walking along and kind of paints a picture for you of the dinosaur when it was alive. So as a whole, this is an absolutely amazing model that I am extremely happy to now have in my collection. So make sure you guys check back, of course, for every review I post, but specifically for more reviews of the VFB models, because I can't wait to get the other two up here on my channel in the immediate future. And make sure you head on over to Instagram to contact Medium Master to get yourself one of these amazing Giganotosaurus and get one in your collection. And of course, for any of your other 3D printing needs, Medium Master is definitely the guy to go to. And on top of that, I will include the social media accounts for VFB Art, so you can follow along with whatever they are working on and check out not only this and all of the other amazing models they currently have, but any models that they will be creating in the very near future. So make sure you do all that, grab yourself this gorgeous Giganotosaurus, and like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.